All right, everybody. Welcome back to All Things MSP Live. We got new digs, like not behind me because that hasn't changed, although I did change the lighting up a little bit this week. But I've changed the graphics. Along with the rebrand, I decided, hey, why don't we do a new look for All Things MSP Live? And that's exactly what I did. So great to see everybody tonight. Looks like we do have one person watching already. That's awesome. Do appreciate that. I am going to do my normal stuff here and fire up a browser and go ahead and make sure that we are running on all of the platforms that we try and do this on. So, and if you're out there, by the way, if you're out there, let us know where you're at, what platform you're watching this on. Just go ahead and put a comment in there. Let me know where you're connecting from in terms of platform so that I know the comments are working. Otherwise, I have to test them myself, and that's not fun. All right, so LinkedIn. Let's look. Make sure I'm muted because that always helps. And Facebook. Come on, Facebook. There we go. All right, so we are live on Facebook. That's good. And last but not least, let's go ahead and fire up YouTube. The only problem with YouTube is it doesn't just show up on the home screen. I have to actually go in and go to my content, into live. And click the link. There we go. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Yep. Oh, got to mute myself on YouTube. There we go. That always helps. So it looks like we got two people watching. If those two people would go ahead and let me know in the comments that you're here, that would be great. And I'm going to go ahead and put some comments in there as well, just so that everybody can see that and so that I can make sure that the comments are working. So YouTube comments are working. Let's see. Hello, Facebook. Three, two, one. There we go. That one's showing up. And let's see. Last but certainly not least. Yo, LinkedIn. Did I type it right? Looks like I did. All right, and Ashley's here. Ashley, thank you very much for the comment. And time just ticks away very quickly when I'm doing this. I don't know what the deal is, but it's okay because, we got things to do, things to talk about tonight. And by the way, let me know what you think of the new graphics. If you're a veteran of the show, let me go ahead and know what you think of the new graphics. Kind of threw them together, just kind of got one of those things that I felt like I had to go change these graphics, update them with the new branding. And again, if you guys have a comment on the new branding, go ahead and let me know that as well, because spiced it up a little bit, I think. Got away from the blue and the gray and put a little orange and red in there. Kind of matches the podcast too. In case, by the way, if you don't know, we actually do have a podcast as well. So make sure you check that out. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Audible, all the typical ones. And then, of course, I think it spiders out from there. So we're there. Check us out. Let me know what you think. I actually have, I'm the co-host for that, actually. I don't host the show. Justin Escar does. Many of you know him. He's an Apple consultant out of the New York City area, and a great guy. But our timer just flipped over, so it's time to get this party started. All right, welcome everyone to All Things MSP Live. We have new graphics tonight. I have new lights in the background. And actually I have a new camera. So tell me if any of those things look better than, previous episodes. I would appreciate it. We got a couple of people here in the comments, which is great. Really do appreciate it. I have a great guest tonight. But before I get into that, just want to let everybody know that yes, All Things MSP is rebranding. We, kind of switched to this orange and red kind of color scheme. The blue's still in there. I actually used the same color palette. These were just kind of the secondary or tertiary colors. And I just decided to bring those forward. What the heck? But in all of that, wanted to redesign the graphics, did all of that. If you're not aware of who All Things MSP is, we started this as just a Facebook group, as a community to talk about things in the MSP world that we wanted to talk about. Now, we do focus kind of on business topics, so you'll notice that a lot of the guests that we have on are, business topic type guests. I have a really interesting one that's not business related at the end of this month. Stay tuned for that. Got a flurry of emails on that one today. It's going to be great. But tonight I have a great guest as well. Now, All Things MSP, you can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. Facebook is the primary community. That's where the group is. There's almost 4,500 members in the group now. And that's where we have most of the really important conversations. Although I'm trying to have them both there. And when they're really important, I kind of copy them over to LinkedIn and stuff so that the people who live on LinkedIn, they'll benefit there. If you live on Facebook, you'll benefit from the community and the group over there. So if you want to find those communities, Facebook, it's just the facebook.com/all things MSP. Then on LinkedIn, it is linkedin.com/company/all things MSP with dashes in between. Now on any of these platforms, if you go at all things MSP, you'll find us. On LinkedIn and on Facebook, you do have to put spaces in between the words, but you will find us. And then LinkedIn or YouTube, sorry, you'll find us at All Things MSP as well. So pretty much if you search for All Things MSP, you'll find us. And last but not least, I do want to ask you to go ahead and like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things. Follow us on LinkedIn, join the Facebook group, whatever it takes, do all the things. I really do appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring on my guest, which tonight, you guys know I love NPS. I love customer experience. So for me, this is a really interesting show. And as important as I think customer experience is to the MSP community, I think this is something that you guys really need to listen to, really need to pay attention to, because there's really some interesting stuff that we're going to learn tonight. So, live from CrewHu, Stephen, how are you, sir?
Hey, coming through the airwaves. How's it going?
Good, good. Yeah, you're coming through great.
Okay. No, by the way, I like your colors. Very, very gamey. You look gamer. You look good.
I wanted it to stand out because there's so much blue and green in this industry. I just decided to spice it up a little.
Yeah, yeah. I like the skull and crossbones. It looks badass, and that's something we talk about a lot at CrewHu. Badass means world class, so we love it.
Yeah, in fact, was it IT Nation where you guys had the whole pirate thing going and, running around in costume and stuff like that?
Oh no, that was God. I want to give them a shout out. I'm trying to think of the name. They just changed their name, and they were doing a rollout. Who is that? If anybody knows in the comments, please tell me. That was wasn't us though. But we did have a treasure chest at our booth, and so we had a lot of treasure for the people that came by to talk to us, for our customers. So we were going with that theme as well. We did not coordinate that. That was just a coincidence.
Awesome. Well, I thought it was awesome. And John, who is a frequent watcher, and actually I had John on a couple weeks ago, has our first comment tonight. And he's saying, "Where's the hat, Stephen?"
I forgot the hat. it's been a long day. I guess I just forgot to put it on. So this is what I look like without the hat.
Well, still dashing, still dashing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. So, um, usually the way I start these out is I want to know a little bit about you and what your journey in the channel has been and what got you kind of to this point.
Yeah, yeah. I got lucky. Just like a lot of people in the channel, right? They find a problem and they create a company out of it. So I happen to have a problem. I was bringing Cold Stone Creamery ice cream stores to Florida. We were building a lot of them, and all of a sudden I had over 100 employees, and we were growing really really fast. And I had about 120% turnover. Um, and I needed to get a handle on this because it was affecting our same store sales. And then as we went on, year over year, the sales were declining. Um, so I went out to the market to find something. I couldn't find anything that could help me sort of get a handle of what was going on in the stores. So we created a way to collect customer feedback by employee and actually recognize them for it. We also pushed down a spot awards and empowered our team members and the managers to give each other shout outs based on our core values. And before I put this in place, I was getting about one complaint per store per month. Once we put this in place and connected it to the loyalty program, every time they checked in, they would get asked how their service was. And it went from one to over 100. And the reason was they had to click 20 times before. It was very complicated. And with us, it was our one click survey. Um, and the employees loved it because they were, you know, the things that we didn't see before, we were able to see. So they were being not only rewarded, but they were being recognized for the great work that they were doing every day. Because working in these stores is hard. It's really hard work. And I was friendly with the executive team, and they actually gave me carte blanche into the market. They said, Steve, we don't have the marketing funds for you to say we'll take this on, but you could go out to the franchise community and sell this. This is awesome. So I was flying around the country, and I couldn't sell it. I was either not, it was wrong timing, wrong message. It was something that wasn't working. I got lucky, and some MSPs started to sign up for my platform organically. And at this point, I had no idea what an MSP was. So I called one up and I said, "What's an MSP?" And they told me all about the business, and I saw the parallels between retail and frontline service at the retail, in these stores, and the help desk and how they're the front line for their customers. And it's a hard job. Sometimes it's a really thankless job because all they're doing is putting out fires, and they only hear from their managers or from their customers when something's wrong. Hey, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And so we like to think of that as a relationship bank account. And if all you're doing is coming when something's wrong, you have a deficit, and no one wants to speak to you when there's a deficit. But if you're recognizing them for the small wins on a daily basis, for those tickets that they close, for those little problems that they solve, they add up, right? Base hits win games. Home runs don't win games. But if you get those teams with the base hits, like the Oakland A's back then, yeah, the Boston Red Sox when they won the pennant, that wins games, that wins business, right? That helps you grow. And so we started to do that and focus on the MSP community, solely. So I dropped everything in the retail, started to focus on this community because they got it. right from the beginning. And I got my big break. You know Gary Pica?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so these guys were from the Winner Circle, the True Method peer groups, and I was introduced to Gary, and I'm like, Gary, can I come out, speak to your guys, and I know that you have get-togethers every quarter. I'll come up to Philly, I'll speak to them, it'll be great. He goes, well, you can sponsor. I'm like, Gary, I have no more money. Um, I can't afford it. I'm at the point where it'd be great if I could just come out. He's like, come out and pay the bar tab. I'm like, yeah, sounds like a good idea. I had no idea how much you guys like to drink at that point.
That is
Uh,
true. That is
but
true.
it was a great time, and at the end of the day, it was worth it. We signed up a couple of dozen new clients from that, and we haven't looked back since. So that's how I got into the channel, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm here to stay. And we focus on it. And if you hear from any of our team members, they'll tell you, CrewHu is a customer satisfaction and employee recognition platform built for MSPs. So we found our home.
Yeah. And speaking of your team, by the way, they are here. So CrewHu Marketing says, "Woot, Stephen,
Woo!
woot." Um,
Yeah.
but yes, I have had to justify many a bar bill on my expense reports. Many,
Yeah.
many a bar bill. Some pretty ridiculous ones too. So
Mhm. They know how to have fun in this channel. That's all part of it, and that's why we're out at every show every month, and you'll see my team members, you'll see me out there hanging out, and it's we understand it's about relationships,
yeah.
and that's great because that's what their product's about. It's about relationships.
All right. And your team is here in the background to answer questions too. So awesome. Love the
At,
engagement.
at 7:15 in the evening. That's engagement.
That is dedication. You're doing something right. Are you using your own product?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But we are using our product, but we have a great team.
Yeah, yeah.
I tell you.
Well, I've
I
met
love.
quite a few of them, so yes, you absolutely do have a great team.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very interesting to me that you kind of stumbled into the channel then. You created this product, which I think was probably perfectly good for the use case that you had for it. And then you just found this community, and this community really latched onto it because they saw the usefulness in it.
Every journey, you need to listen to your customers. So you need to build a good product, but you need to have a little luck. And I feel like I had a little luck. When you build something, I always feel like the universe gives back. You put in, and if you're listening, you're going to get back. And I feel
Yep.
like with listening and with some luck, we're where we are. And I'm grateful to be where I am today.
That's awesome. So, when we were kind of just talking before the show, something that you said really kind of rang a bell for me, and that was building a culture of service in an organization. Talk to me a little bit and talk to the audience about why is it so important that you create a strong culture of service in an organization?
Well, the first thing that when you think about customer service, you always think about the customer, and at the end of the day, you want to take care of your customer, but I don't think that's where it starts. You can't just take care of the customer. It's not that easy, or else everybody would do it. You have to look inward, into your team, your culture, your processes, who you are, and and I think the easiest way to do that is really to simply find as many opportunities to recognize your guys for great work, and then the customer service follows, and it seems easy, right? You talk about, you hear these examples, right, of Disney, of the Four Seasons, and when you walk in, they find ways to take care of you, um,
Yeah.
and that's culture, right? My guys sitting here at 7 o'clock, I did not ask them to be here. They're just here. They just go above and beyond. That's culture, right? And it all starts with recognition and celebrating those small wins on a daily basis.
So for the MSPs that are watching, um, and I'm going to throw that one up there because you do have a great team, and I really appreciate the engagement. Um, so you are starting at the root of service rather than reacting to the result of the service by watching the customer. So instead of watching the customer and reacting to what has happened, you are building a culture inside your organization to ensure that you're delivering good service first.
Yeah, we one of my roles as the CEO. Well, I'll tell you what my roles are as the CEO. Um, First of all, I need to listen. I need to listen a lot, and I need to listen out to the customers. What's the problem? What are we solving? So when I go to the shows, I like to speak with customers. I like to speak with vendors. I spend a lot of time with vendors. What do they see as the problems coming up? What are the trends? I listen to my team, and they know they could say whatever they want to say to me, and there's not going to be a repercussion. I'm not going to be able to do everything, but tell me, what do you want? And let's see if we could work towards that. So I need to listen. I need to take care of my team, right? I need to make sure they're good, and if they're good, right, they're going to make sure that our brand and our product and our customers are good.
That's awesome. So if I'm an MSP, how do I start to build that culture of service in my organization?
Well, I think the first thing you want to do, and it comes down to, one of the things that I need to do is listen. So how are you going to listen? You need to create sources of feedback. One of the places you could start would be CSAT, which is a survey on the ticket, right? These are transactional. This helps you understand how the users feel. How are we taking care of the ticket? Is the customer service good? Right? Is the process good? Are the expectations set? Those are the three things that could go wrong in any transactions. The expectations aren't set, right? You called them in an hour to fix that email problem, but the SLA is 4 hours. So you just killed the SLA, but they're still unhappy because they expected a call in a half an hour or in 10 minutes. So it's not anybody's fault but communication and setting expectations. Then there's customer service, and sometimes maybe a technician could be on the phone or on email, and they could be terse or not as empathetic as they should be, and that's customer service, and that's where you'll find opportunities to coach these guys, or it could be the process, right? You could have a process where you're uploading a whole bunch of applications to a computer when you do a new computer install, right? You do a new ad, but you forgot a very important application that they use on a daily basis. Let's just say Slack as a communication. They need Slack to communicate, right? In the case of MSPs, probably MS Teams. So they need MS Teams. It's not on there. They're unhappy because they can't communicate with the rest of their folks, and they're missing out on productivity. So they're unhappy about that. But that's the process. You need to add that to the checklist. So you have continuous improvement that way. That's one place of feedback. Another is less transactional, And you mentioned NPS earlier. And so NPS is more relational, doesn't, you could be the hero one day or the villain just because of one ticket, right? And so some people take NPS scores, right after the ticket. And I think that's not the best thing to do because it's a little biased either one way, either the good way or the bad way. I think it needs to come out totally independent from the transactional service that the MSP is providing. So what we recommend is sending it out every 4 months randomly.
That's a really interesting point because a lot of people do use NPS kind of as a substitute for CSAT. And I think that's a really important point that you just made. And it's one that I hadn't thought of it that way before, where CSAT is transactional, NPS is relational. It makes total sense based on the kind of questions that you ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
For each of those. I don't know if you know this, but there's somebody I respect very much in the channel who did a video recently about how NPS should not be a measurement of customer satisfaction, and he's not wrong because it's not the same thing. But NPS, I think NPS does play a critical factor in kind of taking the temperature of customers from time to time.
You could have 100% CSAT, and the customer all of a sudden gets up and leaves. And this has happened before. I've seen a $20,000 a month customer just get up and leave, and they were surprised because your service was great. Yeah, you guys were taking care of our endpoints. Just the whole package wasn't what we were looking for. We had some of these weird security requirements, and we just didn't feel that your company could handle it. The conversation never happened, never.
Right.
Just they thought they had great service, and we're doing great, and these guys are paying us good money, and they see the value, and that's that. But because they didn't understand how they felt about their entire, not just their service on their desk, but from the entire offering, they were blindsided.
Cool. So I know when we were talking pre-show, you were saying that there were a lot of really interesting numbers that you got out of last year. So using those numbers, how does this really affect an MSP?
Well, so we have a lot of data. So from we had about 575,000 survey responses that came back from all of our customers, and we had close to, I think, 200,000 recognition badges, and not all of our customers use recognition badges, and we wanted to see if there was any statistically significant correlation between those two things. And what we did find was very interesting, that for those MSPs that used peer recognition, that used recognition badges in their organization, had a higher CSAT than those that didn't. Right. And we found out specifically that on average, there was a 5% difference. And a 5% difference in CSAT is huge because we just pulled some other numbers from Q1 of this year. And that was from, I think, about 170,000 survey responses that came back. And we found that the top 10%, to be in the top 10%, you had to have a 98% CSAT. To be in,
That's high.
right, that is high. To be in the top third, to reach the top third, you needed to be at least a 96% CSAT. The great information that we found, that if you are in the bottom third, if you have a 91% CSAT, 91% or lower, you're in the bottom third of all the companies that we measure. Um, if I had a 91% in school, I'd come running home to my parents and say, "Hey, I got a 91%."
Yeah, of
So
course.
you may think you have a really great program, but when you benchmark it against like companies, um, it's interesting to find out that no, if you have a 91%, you need to really work hard to get that up to at least a 96%. So you could feel or say that you have top service levels when compared to others in the industry. And this is how you differentiate your company from the others in the industry. And we have a lot of examples where how people grow their company by using this, right? So um, first thing is CSAT and the measurement of customer service is really important for your current clients, right? Because you're going to go to your QBR, and a lot of times you have to prove your value. They're spending a lot of money with you. So it's really great to come with a whole bunch of feedback from their users and show them what kind of value you're giving them. And you could even say if you were in 96% or higher, you could say, listen, we're in the 96%. These are all the surveys that are coming in. This is best in class in the industry. Just wanted to go over, what's going right. And there's always something that went wrong, and to go over what's going wrong and talk about what you're going to do to improve that for them. And a lot of the times that happens to be a project. It happens to be bringing in new servers. It happens to be bringing in new workstations. And that's more revenue for the MSP. So it's really important to use this information in your QBRs to prove your value quarter after quarter. And this is going to become even more important because as the economy has slowed, and we'll probably be in a bit of a slowdown, for the year. Although I don't think this industry, this channel, is going to be affected so much, because those companies that are downsizing are probably downsizing their IT, and there's so much opportunity for co-managed, and security is still a big talking point. So I think we're sort of insulated here, but it's still very important to talk about this, so you could protect yourself from them downsizing your company. The other really important thing, and a lot of our companies that MSPs that do business with us are high growth MSPs, and they use this information to grow. So I always give this example with Neil Jern from San Antonio. He has Jern Technology. He's a fast growing MSP. He takes the information, the high level information of his CSAT and the process of how he takes care of his current customers, and he puts it in the sales process, and he talks about it, and he shows how he takes care of response time, and how people love the response time for his company. The number one reason why companies leave their MSPs is because of response time. So he shows them specifically how he can improve their response time once they tell them, we're not very happy with the response time of our current MSP. And he uses that to grow his company. And he brought on 12 new clients in the time frame of 1 quarter doing that. And he's continued to do that.
That's I think there's a lot to unwrap there, because I think it's very interesting. It's very revealing that if I don't have better than a 91% CSAT score, that I'm in the bottom third. That's not good. That does not make me competitive. And I think that probably it's just the evolution of this industry over the last probably 5 years that has created that. We've gotten a lot more competitive when it comes to customer service, customer experience, customer satisfaction. And you have to, I always lean on the old quote, what gets measured gets managed, right?
Hmm.
What was that, Peter
Yeah.
Drucker, I think?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's exactly what, you know, you're doing here. You are measuring the feedback from your customers so that you can improve to 95, 96, 97, 98%, so that you can be in that top 10%. And you can use that as a differentiator, just like you said, in order to, make your company stand out when people go shopping. Now, obviously, this is what CrewHu was built to do, right? So, how does CrewHu actually do this for an MSP?
Yeah, so we integrate with the PSA, right? ConnectWise, with Autotask, with BMS. There's a few other players out there. And we focus on the tools that the MSPs use every day. We also integrate with MS Teams, which is the most popular communication system. We integrate with Slack too, but MS Teams is by far much more popular. We integrate with um, platforms like IT Glue, which is the documentation provider, so we could track documentation score. CSAT is a trailing indicator for customer satisfaction, but there's a lot of leading indicators that gets you there, right? So if you're always documenting, if your resolution time hits goal, if your response time hits goal, that all leads to uh, a better CSAT, right? So uh, we measure through surveys, but we also measure the metrics. So we have a contest engine where if documentation is something that's really important that you want to improve, we have you focus on the documentation contests. We also measure leaderboard response time. We leaderboard resolution time. We leaderboard a number of tickets that are escalated. So if there are a lot more tickets that are being escalated than you think there should be, that means that you need more training in your organization. Or people just like to cherry pick the really easy tickets, which happens a lot. But by putting these contests into place, you could reduce that. And at the end of the day, by improving all these numbers, all these leading indicators, you're going to end up with a higher satisfaction score.
Yeah, and that's the importance of leading indicators, right? Is knowing the things that you can control, right? Knowing that, people are documenting, knowing that people are reacting to tickets quickly are the things that your team controls. And so understanding those and knowing what those are critical. Now, how do you incentivize that behavior though? Training is important, but how do you incentivize correct behavior?
So we have a point system. So we have many ways where the engineers and other employees in the MSP can earn crew coin. And so one of them is on the survey module. When they get a positive rating, they get a survey badge that is worth crew coin. So that's one way. Another way is with the recognition badges that I was talking about before. And what we recommend is they start out with badges that relate to all of the core values, and we feel that the best thing to do to make sure people are living the core values or thinking about the core values on a daily basis is to use this badge system. Because if you don't, you may have core values, and a lot of MSPs do, and they put it on their website, and they may etch it on glass in their office. But if they're not talking about it on a daily basis, it doesn't really exist in their minds. And in order for it to exist in their minds, you need to empower them to use it, to recognize on it, and to get recognized on it. So whenever they get a recognition badge, that's another opportunity to earn crew coin. The third way is the contest engine. So you could create contests based on your documentation score, number of tickets closed, your CSAT percent, your conversion rate, resolution time, a whole number of different metrics. And you could do cool things like first, second, third. You could do winner takes all. You could do everybody who hits a certain goal is rewarded. So that's another way for them to earn crew coin. And they take that crew coin ultimately, they go to the store and they pick out a meaningful reward. And the store is totally customizable. And I always talk about having meaningful rewards in there for your team. So if you happen to be in Colorado, maybe it's something that has to do with the ski resort up the hill, or those other things that they might like to do. Down in Florida, maybe it has something to do with going to the Keys, or having a beach getaway, or it could be their likes, right? They may like to go to Taco Bell. I just heard we added Taco Bell to the store today. That's why it's top of mind. But there's Taco Bell gift cards. There's Chipotle, Amazon, and dozens of others. But for those that want to make it very special, we allow them to put whatever they want in it. I even heard they have one where they hit the CEO with a pie in the face. I bet you the guys on the call would probably, on the chat, would probably like to do that. But they have a lot of interesting and creative ways to reward the guys.
Well, and that goes back to the listening component that you were talking about earlier, right? Listen to your people, find out what they want for incentives, and it sounds like that's, you can drive that using CrewHu, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, looks like you got at least one that doesn't want to put a pie in your face.
Yeah. Maybe a fatty cake. If someone, Jen from the marketing team makes these cakes that are the most delicious cakes. You got to try it one day. If you're lucky enough to be able to try it, but they're good.
That's when you have a good crew, right? Is when they start baking stuff.
So, yeah, on my birthday, I got a delivery, and Jen lives in Orlando. I live in Boca Raton, Florida, and I was surprised with a fatty cake. Oh my God. And I ate that whole thing in like a day. And I think there should be a warning label on it, because I don't think you're supposed to eat that whole thing in a day, but it is so good.
And I actually grew up halfway in between y'all. So
where's that?
Yeah, I grew up in Stewart.
Okay, very good.
So yeah, and then lived for a long time in Orlando. Moved there to go to UCF, and had my MSP in the Orlando area had a break fix company first, then had the MSP, total of 17 years, longer story than we have tonight. And actually, I want to be respectful of your time because we are at 38 minutes past the hour. I only require you guys to be here for 30 minutes, and you have surpassed that. So I just want to make sure that if you have things to do, you make sure you tell me that it's time to go, Eric.
You got it.
What I would like to do is, if anybody who's watching has any questions, of course, we'd love to answer those. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and throw up, because I did prepare the website, logo or link there so that people could find you. Where else can people find you, Stephen, on LinkedIn or whatever?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Stephen with a PH and Spiegel. You could just search me. I think I'll have a hat. I think I have a hat on the picture. So
the hat that John's talking about.
Yeah. Not sure, but I think I do. But so Spiegel is SP as in Peter, IEGEL. You could also look up CrewHu. I'll probably tie to that as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And by the way, in case nobody noticed, we do have a special guest tonight. So Taz has decided to join us by sleeping in the set tonight. So
very cool. That's cute. That's great. We love animals at CrewHu. I think we all have one.
Yeah. Well, they they definitely are an additive to life by they just they know how
Wait,
to they know how to love you.
I got to show you something. Wait, before we go. Yeah, this is our little mascot, Chewy.
Oh,
Chewy. I have um I have a big dog and a little rabbit. So um and we have fun.
rabbits are great. We had one. Well, we've had two in the lifetime of our kids. The last one was a dwarf lop ear, and just so much fun.
So my son was trying to sell me on getting a rabbit. Like he wanted a rabbit. I want to take care of a rabbit. So I said, "Why do you want one?" "Oh, I just want one." I go, "Well, that's not good enough." So I made him put together a PowerPoint presentation on how he was going to take care of the rabbit. Why, why else he wants it. You have to really sell me on it. You
Yeah,
have to close the deal. So he went and he did it, and the first round didn't go so well for him. I said, "No, go back to the drawing board because I'm not buying it." Second round, he got me, and we got it, and a year and a half later, I'm taking care of it. So
yeah. Well, isn't that the way it usually goes though? Is dad usually ends up taking care of the animals?
I knew it was gonna happen, but I fell in love with the rabbit.
Yeah. Well,
I do want a rabbit. Let's get another dog. I'm a dog person. I have no idea why you would want a rabbit. But once he came into our lives, he's a they have really cool personalities. I gotta tell you. So he won me over.
yeah. Well, that's kind of what happened with this one too. I mean, I was like, no, we don't need to replace the cat that just passed away. Um, we're okay with just one. No, we had to have another one. But of course, what happens? This cat is now my cat. Like we're sitting down, she's in my lap. I'm working, she's back there, or she's in the window, of my office. She spends literally most of the day here in the office with me.
Yeah, that's right. The animals are special, man.
Yep, they
You
sure
know,
are.
and they see you. They see your soul. So that means you're a good guy.
Oh, and here's, yep, your crew is commenting again.
Ah, yep. So Jen did this whole great thing a couple months ago where she was posting uh, pictures of everybody with their animal, which was fantastic. So yeah, so I saw the pictures of you and your cat, Jen, your cats. So
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah, Jen's a cat person. Yeah.
All right. Well, Stephen, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I think this is a extremely important topic. I mean, just further recognized by the fact that your CSAT scores have to be really high these days to be a, a world class MSP.
And
So,
I think the most important message is if you're not measuring CSAT at all, um, you're you're missing the boat, and so you need to do that at least. And once you start doing that, you need to see where you fall and constantly try to improve that and work on that process. That should be something uh, someone in your organization is doing day in and day out to stay competitive, and that will help you retain your customer base. But if you don't have a problem with retention, and a lot of people don't, but they're having a problem with growth, both growing their existing customer, and also being able to position themselves to bring in new customers. CSAT is a big help to do that. And we could help you. We know best practices. We've been doing this for years. We've been in the MSP community since 2016, and this is our focus. So you could try us out for free and get on the phone with one of our account executives. So go to CrewHu.com, just ask for a demo. There's really no risk to try it and to see if there's a fit. And I promise you, from my experience, you're going to get benefit from it. And don't take my word for it, because I'm the guy that owns the company. But go out, take a look at the reviews we're getting on G2 and the channel company. We have tons of reviews from them. Maybe Jen, you could put that link in the comment section. Yeah, but we could help your business. I mean, this is our why, to be able to help you grow. I was a business owner. I am a business owner, but I created this because of a problem I was having as a business owner. And I was sitting at the dinner table. I remember this, with my family, and I was thinking about business. You ever do that blank stare, and then your wife goes, "Are you listening to me?" And you go, "Huh?"
Yeah, many times.
That was happening too often, and so it was affecting my life. And so we created this to really make my life better. And now I want to help make the lives of owners and managers in this community better.
Well,
And this
that's
is
how
how
so many of us start our second and third business, isn't it? Like, we see a problem in the industry that we're in, and we go solve it, and we end up being a vendor in that industry rather than just an entity in it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun talking to you. It really was. And I hope you keep doing this, because you're good at it.
Well, I enjoy it. That's the main thing. It's an outlet for me to have fun, talk about the channel, create new graphics. I don't know. And do the video stuff, because I love doing the video stuff. In fact, the next time we're at a show together, which I'll be at Exchange in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are there, maybe we could do something there live.
Yeah, that'd be great. I
That'd
look
be
forward
fun.
to it.
Do it from
Okay,
the booth.
I'll see you over there. Well,
Okay,
we'll talk
sounds great.
beforehand.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, take care.
Thank you, Stephen. Have a great evening. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I couldn't thank Stephen enough for doing this tonight. I think this is something that's critical for every MSP. I think we've talked about why it's important. I mean, it just kills me, that 91% number, right? You have to be better than that to be in the top 2/3. That's big. That's important. So check out CrewHu. They're real nice people to get to know. I loved getting to know them at the booth, at the shows, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, they're a great part of this community, and we really appreciate them coming on All Things in MSP and sharing what they have to do. It looks like Taz is waking up back there. Anyway, have a great evening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the things on YouTube. Make sure you're liking on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever you're watching this. And of course, if you have somebody at your MSP who needs to watch this show, it is available on reruns on YouTube. So check out the All Things MSP Facebook channel, and let's talk about it in the comments. In the group. Today, we talked about service level agreements and service level objectives, which ties into this, right? So important stuff. Make sure you stay connected. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great evening.